All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Inner Circle Live pre-New York session. I'm your host for this morning's session, Benny Allen, along with my awesome partner, Mr. Ryan Carthage. And we're definitely happy and grateful for each and every one of you being here with us this morning as we take a look at the technicals and the fundamentals to see what we can take advantage of in this Forex market. So, without further ado, let's make sure that we turn off any and all distractions, grab a pen and paper, take lots of notes, and let's make sure that we participate and engage. If everybody can hear me loud and clear, a quick sound check, drop me a one in the chat. Let me know that you are all set and when you can hear me loud and clear. Let me see here. All right, Joy, good morning. I appreciate it. All right, so everybody can hear me. So let's make sure that we take massive action this morning, accepting all possible losses before entering a trade, preparing you for any outcome. Let's center ourselves in body, mind, and spirit, assuring a balanced approach to trading. Let's trust in our education, strategy, trading skills, and intuition. And let's imagine our trade successfully materializing and that we obey our trading strategy, avoiding decisions based on greed or fear, right? We know how hard that can be. And let's make sure that we are never looking back or stopping once our trade has commenced. So, with that being said, let's get out of here and get right to the fundamentals. As we see today, right? We had Switzerland CPI come through right on forecast, negative 0.2% for the Swiss franc. But the big news of the day, right? The elephant in the room, right, is that we have non-farm payrolls today here in the United States, average hourly earnings, unemployment rate. This is going to be huge, right, in regards to key information that'll give us some more signs in regards to that possible rate cut that may be coming in September. If we go to trading economics, we see that U.S. job growth likely slowed. That's the projection. U.S. economy is projected to add 175,000 jobs in July, down from the 206 in June. And the unemployment rate is expected to remain steady at 4.1%, the highest since November of 2021. Also, wages likely rose 0.3% month over month, the same as June, but pushing the yearly gain down to 3.7%, the lowest since May of 2021, compared to 3.9% in the previous month. So July figures are expected to continue to point to a strong, albeit cooling labor market. In its July meeting, the Fed acknowledged that job gains have moderated and the unemployment rate has moved up but remains low, signaling the assessment of the labor market has moderated. The average monthly payroll growth for this year has been 222,000 compared to 251,000 in 2023 and 377,000 in 2022. So we will see what happens, but that's what's going to drive everything in the market as we look to close out the week. We see here that global stocks sink, major bourses around the world were in the red on Friday as weaker than expected U.S. data raised concerns about an economic slowdown. Major European bourses were down 1.5%, while the U.S. futures pointed to big losses at the open. Earlier, the Nikkei sank 5.8%, its worst day in nearly 4 years, weighed by a stronger yen. Right, so it's that same thing, right, across the board, right? We know the pattern, right? We got a stronger yen, so we saw the Nikkei move down, just like how a lot of times when we have a strong dollar, right, depending on why that dollar is strong, we can see that the S&P tail off, bond yields plunging, flight from stocks, right? So we had some poor corporate earnings yesterday that came through from Amazon, Alphabet, and Microsoft. Then also with our ISM PMI pointing to a sharper than expected contraction in July, right? So we're getting some slowdowns, which is what they've been looking for, right? We need things to slow down a little bit to get that inflation back to that 2% target that the Fed keeps talking about. So we'll see what happens today, right? And how the market reacts after yesterday's corporate earnings came out for some major companies that weren't so pretty, right? So we'll continue to watch and see. That is, and then that's really right. Looking to close out. Um, on Friday. So that's the big news for today. Any questions, right? Any comments to add regarding the fundamentals? Anything that any of you might have read out there that we need to know about and we need to keep an eye on? No. All right. So let's take a look at the DXY ahead of the data, right? Just ranging, right? We've been stuck in that range with the dollar, right? We see we're down on the DXY coming into today. So let's see what happens with that non-farm payroll. See if we get any surprises either way, right? So that's pretty simple, right? We kind of just ranging, bouncing back and forth. Saw the dollar pick up yesterday, but now we're moving down on the DXY. So if we come out, let's take a look at the indices ahead of the data today. Again, we had some not so good corporate earnings. Uh, that came out, and here we are on the S&P, right? So who's still holding short on that, right? Because Reese, I know you were short. You're still holding on the S&P. It pushed up and then it moved down. Congrats, good job, right? You know, we were debating back and forth on that whether or not it was going to put in that rally, depending on what that data from ISM came out yesterday, right? And we can see it turned over, right? So we've got some concerns. So congrats on that. Way to be patient and hold, right? And no yesterday, right? Covered it, but we got the negative earnings coming out, right? So that helped this move to the downside. So great job managing that trade. I know Donette was short too on this, so that is a pretty strong move, right? Especially since coming off that high in that 80-20. So we are continuing to move bearish just to hit a non-farm. So if you're up pretty good on that move to the downside, manage the trade. Coming over, taking a look at the US 30. Look at that, right? So this is just another key where we look at it, right? How we trade our zones, right? We trade our zones, our key sweet spots, because we don't control all of this, right? Just the way it moves to the target and how it gets there, right? To our 382 target, we don't um we don't control that, right? Or how long it's going to take. We just see our sweet spots and we look to trade them, right? So there's another 80-20 there coming out of the zone. I didn't trade the US 30. So anybody in the US 30 setup? All right. Well, that's the US 30 moving down, right? Getting that correction. The UK 100, the FTSE or whatnot, kind of just back and forth on the daily right now. We're bearish, moving down just ahead of the data. We'll see how that turns out. This is your right. We got that strong yen, right? So we saw in a report we were talking about the Nikkei, right? We got a strong Japanese yen. Look at the market, bearish, right? So this is a daily chart, and look at that move, right? So we took out that A, so we're gonna reverse that out right now, right? And we're gonna follow that. We're gonna follow that bearish, right? So we will be looking for on our lower time frames, right? Pullbacks and continuations on this move. Look at that, right? All right. So 4 hour, you got a D extension to get hit. So we look for continued pullbacks and continuations. That'll be one for your future, right? As we look for that yen to continue to show some strength. Okay. Any questions on this Nikkei setup? You know, so we're bearish, right? You can see they're all flooring, right? The UK 100 was still holding up, holding its own, but a lot of these have turned over, as a result. Okay. Where are we at here? All right. So we got a correction. We hit that extension and we're finally moving down. That should have been should be a new fib, right? But we see we're coming down off the highs here on the Russell. Okay. Your small caps moving down, right? Beautiful double bottom put in, extension was hit. Now we're seeing that correction, right? So this really, let me try to rerun it to see if it'll pick it up now. No. So ABCD wave, we'll take our C low here, like so. And that's moving down and correcting. All right. Okay. So we got some major corporate earnings below forecast yesterday. ISM, PMI, right? Data, right? Not so good. And right, so we've got some signs, some major signs of some cooling, right? So anytime you get a string of data like this, right, there starts to be concerns as to whether or not we're going to be able to, continue that path to make that soft landing, right? So you're seeing a reaction. So that non-farm payrolls report is going to be pretty big today. Here we are with the German. Like I said, they need to correct that because it's actually the German 40 now. But you can see that that's making a correction, right? We broke this range to the downside. Okay. So equities are down, right? Equities are down. So that's that on the indices. We come in and we take a look at oh, I don't know what happened to my chart. I have to go back and redo it. I'm missing the chart. I accidentally deleted it. Man. Okay. So let's take a look at gold ahead of the data. Right. So we can see that right, we've been fairly bullish, right? Continuing to move up. So we finished neutral yesterday, but look, we're getting that push ahead of the data, right? So 2483, that previous major high. All right, look at our stochastic. Look at the move up. Okay, so we've been spot on. Feel like I've followed this enough now that we're really ready to get posting these type of setups, right? Alerting you to these type of setups. So you will start to see these come in the trade ideas section, right? So that initial swing higher, swing low off the daily, right? Making sure everybody is alert for that setup, and then pullbacks and continuations, right? Just the traditional setups coming off of that, right? So, but I definitely want to get into getting these posted now. Okay, so been following them for some time. So we're looking bullish with gold. Here we are on the 4, right? And we've got this move up, right? I just ran my fibs off that low. And there's that major high, right? Which I don't know why I don't have that down in the charts. There we go. Okay. So we are indeed continuing to move bullish. All right. There we go. Okay. So that's your major move off the 4 that we've been tracking. That was a major correction, right? But we held up at 2351. Now just tracking that sub fit, which is like watching that 1 hour as well, right? So there's that 1 hour move to the upside. Okay. So just been focusing in on this leg since we understand what the major swing is off the 4. Okay. So we know, hey, If we get a report that comes in way below, the forecast, then we will most likely see gold continue to move long, right? Continue to move long, and it may do it in a hurry depending on where that number comes in for non-farm payroll. Any questions on gold?
Can you repeat what you just said? I'm sorry. You said if it
If
comes in good.
Yeah, if we get that, if we get a Reese got an 80-20 sell on the 15. If it comes through, right, the non-farm payroll comes through and is well below forecast, right? You can see this gold trade continue to accelerate to the upside. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because
Okay,
remember,
thank you.
yeah, because we're trading gold against the dollar. Moving down to the 15, I'll put a 15-minute chart on here. Uh, for gold. All right, so we've got our 15. Okay. Is that what you're looking at, Reese? So are you running it off of something else? Let me see. 24.34. Oh, okay. Why am I not picking it up? 24.34. Oh, my bad. I know. I always forget that you have to click it twice. My fault. I'm on the one. I don't know why it does that. When you go into that workspace and you initially click it, it still leaves it on the 1 hour. There we go. Appreciate it. So I'm just like, hold on now. There we go. So you're running it off the sub fibs here, right? And you got price stalling out. This one will be interesting, right? But it's amazing how look how that shot up, right? That's a huge bullish engulfing candle. Look how it just pushed sideways at that level. Right. That's still fascinating to me how price just likes to freeze at that level, right? And move down. Doesn't matter the asset class, it's always a hang up, seems like right here. And these are sub fibs on the 15. It is. It is. You could really make your money off of that move. Really make your money, right? Especially if you had a time, right? If you had a time on these lower charts, for sure. But that's amazing there. So this is let me write this down ahead of the I definitely want to see how this reacts with the data that comes out. So we'll see how I'm just interested, big time because of what happened yesterday with corporate earnings, put the market on alert. So it's going to be interesting to see uh, how the market reacts to this going into the weekend. These employment numbers and wage numbers. That's an interesting one, right? So you're running it off the sub fibs there, man. That froze at that 127 zone. All right, so let's see, right? That's on the 15 there on gold. Any questions regarding gold? No. All right, so we are into the dog days of summer, right? Ready to get back to headed towards the fall market picking up, right? But it's still been pretty good to us, right? Still been pretty good to us, depending on the type of plays that you're trading. So that's gold. Let's look at oil. You know, we were talking about this yesterday. Boy, we got it on this one, didn't we? On this 1 hour, right? This pullback. Right, that 80 20. Who called that out yesterday? Man, I thought somebody had called that out when we were covering oil trying to get back to this 80-26 level. Can't remember, but it's all good. Whoever it was, um, awesome job calling that out. Right. So let's see if we can move into this buy zone, right? And see if we can get back eventually to this 80-26, right? I still look for oil, right, to eventually move higher, right? That's the level we were talking about. We're wondering if we're gonna get that pullback, prior. And yeah, I thought we might have hit that D extension because it was kind of pushing kind of strong, and we got the correction, right? Amazing, amazing markets. Amazing markets we trade, right? Amazing markets we trade, right? Right. So let's see what happens, right? That might even I don't even think where was that high. Oh, so that's more of a head and shoulders there. The way that's playing out. Took it out just barely. So we no, we got it. We took that high out. So let me let me try to redraw that because remember we had that gap that was created because of the data, right? So there we go. Oh, there we go. There. All right. So let's see if we can find a low price and then a continuation. So keep an eye on oil, right? As we approach our buy zone here, right? To see if we get a nice deep retracement and then we look to get moving towards that 80-26. So that would be one to really keep an eye on next week. Also, you know, your commodities to be impacted, by the data to as well, right? So let's pay close attention, right, to oil and these other commodities. Um, for our, yep, right, on the four, okay, similar setup there, right? Look at where we're settling in at. Okay. So let's see the impact of the data, right? I'm always on pause ahead of non-farm payroll. I don't do too much. Right? I don't do too much. Get after it, you know, once we see the data. Um 75.69. Okay, so you're sitting long already, right? So you're just holding through the pullback.
Oh no, I'm waiting
Oh,
for
you
the
oh
pull.
you're waiting at 75.69.
Yeah.
Let me mark that up. Okay. I like it. So you've been waiting on that pullback because it took off pretty fast. So that's not a bad idea, right? To wait on that, especially if you weren't involved with it already. Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. So you're right on it then. You're already seeing that possibility. So let's see what happens today with the data. All right. So if we continue to get concerns, right? Because then we start to play into demand, things like that. So and we know, right, it's so fundamentally driven oil. So we'll see what happens as the data comes through with non-farm. All right. Any questions on oil? No. All right. Again, right? Just fascinating. Right? Major move. About to take this crown off. Now, major move to the upside. Okay? Bullish candles, and then look how it just stalled at that zone. And then it just collapsed. Okay? Okay? Got me. That one got me yesterday because I was even thinking like, man, this is just gonna continue to accelerate. We may not get that correction. And sure enough, we moved sideways and then we just collapsed. Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. It works. It works. So moving on through, take a look at our dollar pairs and where we are, right? So we'll come into the dollar yen. Okay. Now, we know we've got major corrections for the most parts on these yens, right? We've talked about it, right, in great detail, right? And you can see that this move has just continued to accelerate. So if we get bad data, right, coming out from now on forward, we're just going to continue to push down 147.52, and then we'll see what happens when we get to that level of support, right? But it's been a nice ride, and here's the major correction. So we know Ryan had talked about this happening for months and months and months and months, and finally it came to fruition. 61.8 on a daily. All right, we'll take a look at it. Possible swing low to 618 on the daily. All right. So yeah, so we're continuing to move bearish, right? I don't know if anybody's holding shorts on the dollar yen, but just hey, adjust your stops, secure the bag as we move into a major report, right? But that's just been beautiful. To the downside, if we go into the dollar Swissy, man, time flies at 7 o'clock already, right? Just moving bearish now, right? Just continuing to move bearish. So again, bad data, we're going to look for, lower lows and lower highs, opportunities to get short. Look how it broke that 87.30 level. Just continuing to turn over. Moving down, right? So we got to push up here slightly, like I was tracking that to the upside, right? And then look how it turned over, look how it slammed down, right? We were looking at this double bottom not too long ago, right? And they got a nice move back up to resistance, right? We got our way back up to resistance, but then we just collapsed and continue to make, right, lower lows, right? So eventually the market will tell us what it wants to do. Turned over, right? Fundamentals taking over. Right? So we see the weekly here. Look at this push down. Look at that. Took it out. Right? So you had that original, right? 80-20 move. Again, stalled, turned over. Right? Thought that weekly was going to hold here. This double bottom. I thought that was going to hold up. It did not. It did not. It crashed, right? So get this line, get that out of there. It crashed and moved to the downside, turned over. That one got me on the dollar Swissy. But we're moving to the downside now. So let's see what happens. We continue to make lower lows and lower highs. Let me go to the 1 hour now. Since we've turned all the way over. All right. So we're coming into a zone. This will be interesting. Okay, come 8:30. See what happens. Okay. So let's let it play out. But we do have a possible 80-20 here. Okay. This is extremely bearish. Be patient. Wait for your confirmations to see if it wants to reverse out or if it wants to just continue and shoot right through that level, those levels, and hit that extension, depending on how the report reads today. All right. So we do have, you got to put this on the radar because it is technically headed towards the zone without a major correction. See what happens. Any questions on the dollar Swissy? Oh, all right. Dollar CAD. We've been playing this long. Okay. We've been playing this long. We got the correction in the oil price yesterday, right, which has an impact on the Canadian dollar. Okay. But this has been moving long for quite some time, right? We've got two rate cuts that have come out of Canada. We saw the correction. Look how we held up, right? So we're still pushing bullish. Let's see what happens. We don't have this I didn't see. We didn't have Canadian data today on the same day as as non-farm, right? So no Canadian data today. So we'll see how this pair reacts to the news. Okay. All right. Any questions on the dollar CAD? No.
Nope,
All
no
righty.
question.
All right. Appreciate it, sir. Let's move up to the Aussie dollar. Okay. Look at this daily chart. So let's see. All right. Reese is what did Reese give us a heads up on? Possible swing lower to 61.8. So let's see where we're running that fib. Oh, further back. There we go. Previous low. Reese, drop Reese some sevens. Let's see how this market reacts. If we do, right? If we do, we got a stochastic in the buy zone. Let's see how this data comes out. And it's going to be interesting because we always had to keep in mind that, the Oz is a commodity currency, right? And so that data, can have varying impacts on your commodity currencies depending on how the market reads it. So we've got a stochastic, right? That's back in our buy zone. We're in the buy zone on the fib after a huge correction down. So let's see. Let's see what happens. What would the fib be different if you went down to the lowest point? Let's see. Let's see, because it's been kind of rangy, right? So I definitely understood why that was why that's taken there, because it's kind of been moving sideways through. But let's see. Right? Nope. Took it out. Good question though. Good question though. Took it out. So this is the most accurate fit, right? Sometimes it can be kind of weird, right? Depending on how the price action moves, but that's it. Interesting, after a huge move to the downside, right? We got uh earnings yesterday, right? That came out, weren't so good. We know how commodities react. Stock market reacted to the downside. We settled here. Be nice, right? It's like you said, a possible swing low at the close of the day. Let's see. Let's see. Right. So we've kind of been, right, last 2 days, right, kind of in the same range on this play. So let's see how it comes through, right? We know we've had the fibs run into the downside because of the huge correction. But let's see if we hold. Appreciate it, Reese. So that's that on the Aussie dollar. Taking a look at Bitcoin. Let me go back to that this Aussie dollar play here in this area on the 4. Yeah, it's holding up. I would. It's holding up in that zone. Which makes for an interesting morning to see if that holds up. And we're currently in that active 4-hour candle on the 1, right? You're getting the same look where we've come back to retest this area twice now. Absolutely. So now it's just a matter of that structure holds. It definitely would, right? Because when you look at how we did get price to push lower, but when you see where price keeps coming back to close, right? You're in that same zone. You're in that same zone, in that same area. Price continues to hold up. Right? So it's a little choppy, a little messy, but absolutely. Mm-hmm. So, like we always say, we know that there's no, technical structure that will ever stand in the way of a strong fundamental occurrence, right? Fundamentals are what drives the market, but technically, yes, we are there, right? On that double bottom look. Mm-hmm. Indeed. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. Go back to Bitcoin. Kind of just holding up at this level, right? Just kind of just bouncing back and forth. Right? We have made our way down though. Right? See that? Even here. Hey, look how it moved back and forth, got to this zone, and we've got the reaction back down. Okay, so we'll watch, right? This has really been I know a lot of people were thinking that, it could be a safe haven, this and that, but this has been like a risk on, risk off asset. Really, is what it seems like, you know. Um, Drop the fib on that last leg to the downside. I could do that. 4. Okay, so we pull back. Let's see, right? So looking at some of these pairs, it's like we're getting the way they're setting up technically, we're kind of like, man, maybe they're calling for lower, for the jobs numbers to fall off, but technically it's like I can see a case where the numbers could come through pretty good, and drive things, in a direction that it looks like it wants to go technically. So we'll see. We'll see on that. So that's Bitcoin. Moving down to the Euro USD. I think what is anybody, what's the following cryptos? Because I know I've got it. I picked up on it again. I don't know what my price was, but what's the XRP is creeping up, right? Ripple.
Slowly but surely.
Yeah, like when I peeked at it last I peeked it, was it like a 60 something, like 60 something cents?
Let me pull it up. I'm gonna see. Is I got a notification on it yesterday that in Ethereum.
58. It's at 58 right now. That's just been slowly, Charting this course. Keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on that. Definitely keep an eye on that one.
I'm sorry. I ain't on my computer. I'm on my phone app. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, I see it. It's at 58. And then also too, right, for your portfolios, while we got these corrections, since the stock split, Nvidia is down to 105, right? But we know it's not going anywhere. Right. So continue to watch that move too. Reset, what do you think about the DXY dropping until next Friday's meeting? No, I mean the next Fed meeting, pricing in the rate cut. I like it. I like it. If we don't, if the number comes off a non-farm payroll raise, um, like well below forecast, and we continue to see the string of economic data, I think it not only becomes about, hey, is there a possibility of a cut in September? I think you have to start thinking about the size of the cut. You know, so it's easy to assume 25 basis points. What if the data continues to move in a negative direction, reach? Do we are we looking at the market pricing in possibly 50 basis points? What do you think about that? Yeah. So we'll see.
But XRP, it looked like the play is on the 1 hour. The 1 hour is projected as the bullish time frame right now.
Yeah, because it's made that U-turn, huh?
And so right
Yeah.
now, it looked like it's trying to. It's at 5863 right now. It spiked up to 5868. So it looked like it's trying to form a low. I'm just looking at the line chart.
At the line chart on there, yeah. I'll draw that. I'll get that chart back on so we can follow it. But I've always been a fan of it. I did. What was crazy was back when they went through the whole thing with the regulations or whatever and the lawsuits, which in the back of my mind, I'm like, they're gonna beat that. They're gonna beat it because the case was kind of shady. But what it did was is I got freaked out and I cashed out and I was in it like I think between 19 and 23 cents. You
I
know,
was I was
it,
even further, Benny. I was even further down. I got freaked out and
yep,
sold it.
yep, yep. I did the same. Even though I knew I'm like, man, this case is weak. They always come in and do this. They always come in, file these suits, and then they lost. And I got out, and because what made me mad too was is how they pulled it off the exchanges, and I'm like, I'm not trying to get my stuff tied up. And then what was crazy was after everybody pretty much knew like, okay, this is bogus. They took forever to put it back on the exchange. So yeah, I that one was a bummer because now it's pretty much doubled. It's pretty much doubled. But anything under $1, you know what I mean? I think it's good. I think, because my original idea was like buy heavy up to $1. Just continue to buy heavy up to $1, and then the Fed came with all the shenanigans, and the rest was history. But that was my original plan. Like just keep buying every week, all the way up to $1, and you'll be straight. But yep. So that's my crypto story.
And you also gotta when you look at XRP, look at ADA, look at Cardano because Cardano is up
Oh yeah, yeah.
4%. And if you on the right exchange, you get the what's the name back on that? What's that APY? You get a
Yep.
percentage back on that.
Oh man. Yeah, I appreciate the heads up on that because I just like that. I like the idea of that, and it just keeps hanging around and linking around, and it's like, man, we're still under $1 on that. I like it. And Cardano, I think you're right on that for sure. All right. So euro dollar. right? So we've come into look at the nice correction, right? So we got that right. And now things are picking up, right? But we know that this could be a false move ahead of any type of data like now informed, especially after yesterday. So we'll see. We'll continue to see if this is going to create a low and then move back up. So I'm a wait and see. I don't have any type of position on the euro dollar right now. But of course, right, we got fibs running lower, right? Or running to the downside because of right, it's been moving south. So we'll see what happens um with the data that comes out. But it's been a beautiful move. Beautiful move so far. Do we get range bound? Do we get back and break above 108 as a result of the news? Don't know. Don't know. But we'll see, and we'll be able to cover the aftermath in tomorrow's session. Pound dollar. All right. This one here, right? So I saw this one. Look at where we're sitting. Let's see what happens. Okay. So we've gone flat. All right, we're at the key level 127. We break that 127 and close, right? We look for further declines, but that data we hold. Look at that, right? And it makes sense. Yeah, we've got some indecision there. So we just need to wait and see. We need to just wait and see. Definitely keep my eye on this one. This 80-20 completely collapsed. Again, look at this. Crazy, ridiculous, bullish candle. Turned over resistance, but we're also in a 127 zone and price just collapsed. Move back down. Strong technical level. And said I was in that. Let's go. Right? Drop those sevens. Good job. Did you hold through TP1 or did you TP2? Where'd you decide to close it? Oh, your scalp. Up to TP1, then scalp to TP2. All right. Go ahead and get the bag. I could dig it. However you gotta get it, right? However you trade it, it's totally it's totally up to you. Right? The point of education is to get you in position to where you can find the setups. Your style and how your trade plan is, right? Trade it how you want. Good job. We just want everybody to make money and eventually get to the point where you're making it consistently. And that you have a consistent approach. That's the whole goal, right? We keep it simple. So this is moving down. Let me flip that fibs here. We got an extension hit there. We know where we look on the daily. What's my 1 hour? These pound pairs can move, I tell you. So, man, ideally, you would love it to come back and retest this zone here. Right? So this is a wicked move. We already got that pullback. So we would love for it to come here and settle down, but we shall see. We shall see. This here, you see this level? The reason why, and I got to bring that down. Okay. The reason why this level is still in here for me is because it was a past level that it broke through. See? Right here. So we're going to see what happens, right? Because we were right in keeping that level there, that past level, right? The market has a memory because look at the reaction. Right? This is a daily candle. Right, so we've already tapped into this level, right? 25 pips or so off the reaction. So it's held up there, at least temporarily. And so let's see what happens with the data. Oh yeah, so you got through your congratulations. So you got through your phase with Darwin, right? Your calibration phase. Good job. Good job. You got through your calibration phase. And that's good. Like of course you have your own personal accounts, right? But we like that because with the Darwin, you could just take your time. I mean, all of them now you can, but they've been like that from the beginning where you can just take your time and just develop. No rush on that. If you're up, great. If you're down, you're playing with 100,000. So if you're down $1,000, look, you're only down 1%. It's a true 100,000. That's what I like about it. Just trade. Figure it out. Figure it out. Make it if you participate, make it a major part of your journey. Like, man, I got my other accounts. I know some of us, right? You trade with other prop firms as well. Kay said, that's me. Yeah, just let that thing, let that thing go, right? You're gonna have your ups and downs, your ebbs and flows. Like, I just think because of the way, we've talked about in the we've talked about in the past how uh you get stuck with those limits. Oh, it's 100,000, but you got a $10,000 max drawdown. This allows you to really develop as a trader. We also talked in the past about different type of softwares like to track and journal. We would talk about third-party softwares and things like that. But the beautiful thing about Darwin X is that it has it all built in. So it's like, I like it when you can because you may be down and you may say, you know what, man, my approach to how I'm trading my sweet spots or how I'm doing it, like it's not working. It gives you room to adjust, like to make the adjustment, and track your data. Like, okay, well, maybe okay, that time frame, I'm not liking that time frame. I'm not liking, trading off the 60.8, like my 80/20s, or I don't. Maybe I want to use my daily levels, to pop that initial trade in. It just gives you the ability to just evolve, without the stress and the pressure, and because once you settle in, then the money will come. So I really like it. Yep, gives you room to breathe. They don't hold you in. I mean, even people even are able to reset their accounts. I just think it's a great scenario. People oh, it's just 15%. But listen, you trade with 100,000. We know that if you can get consistent, the money will come. So that 15% will represent a larger portion, the more and more you grow. So it's rewarding you for your development. And we also know that there's a lot that goes with, sometimes it's a give and take, right? It's plus minus, so there's some prop firms that hey, you get 80%, but then you're not trading with a 400,000 either. So it's just up to you and the person. It's trading as a business. Yeah, I think you can work with multiple if you want to, if you have the time. They all have different rules. And if it's your business, it's like, man, I do work for all of them. So it just depends on how you approach the market. But uh Darwin X is my favorite. I like it because of the long term. I like the long term uh possibilities of it. So great job. Congratulations to you, right? That is huge. Big time. Big time. Like how it allows us to trade Forex and stocks. Me too. Right. And now, especially, right, since we went over, right, we did the training on, how to work the calculations, right? And of course, the easiest way is just to use the calculators that we talked about. But you know how to do it manually now, if you had to, just to make it all make sense. So now you can trade anything. You can be in gold comfortably because you know how to set up your slot sizes. You could be in indices, all that stuff. You love gold? Yeah, people love gold. People fall in love with gold because it could be volatile and move fast. So congrats. Congrats. Keep us updated on that. All right. So that's the pound dollar play. I think I covered um all of the uh dollar pairs. Ryan, good morning, sir. Uh-oh. I thought I had him set up. Uh there we go.
Good morning. Good morning, bro.
Yeah, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. It's Friday. It's Friday.
It's Friday, bro.
It's the second, which means tomorrow is the third, which is gonna be my birthday. The big
Yes,
45.
sir.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I've been blessed, man. 45, dude. It's moving
That's
quick.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful,
Yeah.
man.
It's
That's
moving
beautiful.
quick, man. I feel like well, mentally, I feel like I'm 25. Yesterday, when I was out there with these football players coaching and I tried to run these sprints, I felt like I was 55. But but there's a lot to be desired there. So I don't know what I was thinking. You get hyped up. They put the pads on, full pads for the first time. It's like 90 degrees outside. I was feeling some type of way. I was having flashbacks, but I almost passed out.
That's hilarious, bro.
We
Oh,
appreciate all the
fun
happy
ways to keep you
birthdays.
young.
Yeah, happy birthday to Reese's daughter too. Yep, I second you
Oh,
on
yeah.
that,
Happy
Kate.
birthday.
Happy birthday to Reese's daughter. Yeah. So yeah, we need 4 or 5 tomorrow. So man. Yeah, man. But anyway, enough about that. Any news, man? Anything you've been able to follow, man? I know everything's been moving at warp speed for you.
Man, it was a late night last night, so I'm still trying to get caught up, bro. So nothing at the moment, man.
All right, it's all good. So we talked about, a little bit about equities, right? We got some I have my stock chart set up, but I think I accidentally might have closed it out because I don't see it on here anymore where I had all my major stock plays. So I got to redo that. But we can see across the board, like some moves down. You got utilities are up. When in doubt, you need them utilities.
Man, facts.
So, so we need that. So that's law. It don't matter how bad the market get, right? Pay that light bill. But we can see our financials, right? We got that move down, right? So we know what's going on. We got some that rallied though. So it's mixed. It's mixed, right? We coming off of Alphabet and all of that stuff, Meta with their earnings reports. So non-farm can change everything though. So let's see if we continue to decline or if we put in a rally. Well, that's it, man. Everybody, any questions on anything before we close out? No?
Nope.
All righty. All righty. Well, hey, everybody, enjoy the rest of your Friday. And we will see everybody right tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Forex Weekly Ritual. Those are always interesting, especially after major fundamental data like non-farm. So enjoy your day, everybody. And always remember, don't just count your pips, but indeed count your blessings. Bye for now.